The 15 millimeter Howitzer, Jimin's specialty. This beast of a weapon requires a five-man crew, pinpoint accuracy, and battlefield level coordination to operate accurately. But Jimin wasn't just on the crew. He was the commander in charge of this monster that could wipe out an entire town. But what is the howitzer and why is operating it a big deal? What can it do? And what does it require to handle this monster? Let's get to know this beast. This one is a request, and I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I did researching and making it. The howitzer. The howitzer carries a large caliber. The shell it carries is usually between 105 millimeter to 155 millimeter. It requires a crew to operate, typically 3 to 7, often used with advanced targeting systems including GPS and radar. South Korea uses several models of howitzers, including the K9 Thunder, a world class self propelled howitzer developed and manufactured domestically. The K9 Thunder can fire a shell up to 50 kilometers away. It's self propelled, meaning it can drive itself like a tank. But firing a howitzer is not like shooting a rifle. With a rifle or even a tank, you usually see your target through a scope or optics. With a howitzer, you're engaging in indirect fire, which means you're launching a shell at a target that often is miles or kilometers away, over hills, forests, or buildings. And you can't see it at all. So, how do you hit something you can't see? That's where math and physics come in. And that's why the gun commander, and sometimes called the gunner, needs to be highly skilled. So, what needs to be calculated? To hit an unseen target, the crew has to calculate distance to the target to determine how much propellant to use, elevation angle of the barrel, to arc the shell at the right height, azimuth or direction, the compass bearing to aim the gun, air resistance and wind speed that can push the shell off course if you don't get it right, shell weight and type. Different shells fly differently. They also need to calculate temperature and air pressure. It affects how far the shell travels. So, how do they know where to fire? A forward observer, someone far ahead, usually hidden or in a drone or observation post or intelligence information, spots the target and sends the grid coordinates back to the crew. Then the fire direction center or gun commander translates those coordinates into angle, direction, charge level. The data gets passed to the gunner and loader, and the gun is aimed accordingly. The howitzer fires, and the shell follows a giant invisible arc, hopefully landing right on target. Do modern howitzers automate targeting calculations? Yes, modern systems like the K9 Thunder come with an integrated fire control system that can receive target coordinates digitally from a fire direction center or FDC or forward observer. The system will then automatically compute elevation or angle and direction, charge level, amount of propellant needed, time of flight, shell type, and other information. However, soldiers still need to know math and know it well because automation isn't invincible. You need to double check it. Backup if the system fails. In combat, electronics can fail due to EMPs, jamming, battery, or system damage. Soldiers need to revert to manual firing tables, compasses, and slide rules. For error checking, even with computers, human oversight is critical. The gunner or commander needs to verify, does the solution make sense? Is the calculated trajectory actually feasible based on terrain? On the fly adjustments. When terrain, weather, or enemy movement changes, operators need to adjust fire manually, calculate corrections without waiting for a full system update. Then there's precision roles like Jimin's role. It still requires skills. Even semi automatic howitzers require manual barrel positioning, shell handling, fine tuning adjustments. And Jimin, as the gunner or gun commander, would have been directly responsible for interpreting and inputting that data correctly, regardless of the automation. Muscle and teamwork. Shells are heavy, up to 70 kilograms each, and during war, they have to load it continuously. K9 Thunder loads the shells automatically, but just like math computations, soldiers need to be strong enough to do it manually because anything automated isn't perfect. And when you are at war, you cannot wait for systems to be updated or for the repair guy to come through. Nope, it's all up to you. To be a howitzer gunner or gun commander, that means you heave dozens of rounds a day during field drills. Load with speed and rhythm, even while sweat runs into your eyes. Stay sharp while your bones shake with every recoil. It's a test of coordination, muscle memory, and pain tolerance. Inside the turret, there's no glamour, just grit. Commanding the howitzer requires both brains and brawn. Jimin obviously has both. Outside of the howitzer, a gunner also needs to master other weapons. Of course, there's the K9 Thunder, and then there is KH 179. It's actually the howitzer, but manually operated. It's used in more rugged terrain. K105A1. This is lightweight 105 millimeter howitzer for mobile and mountainous units. He also had to master handheld guns like the K3 or the 5.56 light machine gun, often carried by infantry gunners. K6, which is the .50 caliber heavy machine gun, vehicle mounted or tripod based. The M60, this is the 7.62 general purpose machine gun, older model, but still in use in some ROK units. There's K12. This is the newer South Korean GPMG or general purpose machine gun. This is accurate but heavier than the K3. There's the K4 AGL. This is South Korea's version of MK19 40mm automatic grenade launcher. It fires grenades in rapid bursts for area suppression. There's also the K201. This is the 40mm grenade launcher attached under K2 rifle, like an M203. Fires one round at a time. Another is the Carl Gustav M3. This is 84mm recoilless rifle, portable and devastating against bunkers or vehicles. There's the Panzerfaust 3, German-made anti-tank rocket used by ROK forces. Also the AT-4, light disposable anti-armor rocket launcher, and K1 Law, South Korea's light anti-tank weapon single use. Whew, all those talks about guns. I hate them. Okay, survival training. All trainees go through basic survival training, which includes things like map reading, surviving the cold, making fire, and others. However, those that are stationed in infantry that are in the jungle get more jungle survival training. J-Hope, Jungkook, and Jin, and of course Jimin, were the ones stationed in the jungle. However, since Jimin's specialty requires getting deployed into the jungle, he got more advanced. His specialty could possibly send him into the jungle in case of war. Many soldiers have attested that survival training is by far the hardest of all training mentally. In many survival scenarios, you're isolated. No radio, no team, no clear support. That forces your brain into a state of hypervigilance, constantly scanning for danger, thinking through worst case scenarios, second guessing every move. Mental exhaustion sets in quickly when you're the only one who can keep yourself alive. They learn what to eat, what's edible wild plants and roots, insects, tree bark inner layers, berries and nuts, small animals, and of course, what to avoid. They also learn how to find and purify water, Water is more urgent than food. You can survive weeks without food, but only 2 to 3 days without water. You can find water in streams, rivers, or creeks. Rainwater collection is another method that they can use. Morning dew collected in cloth. Digging near green vegetation or dry riverbeds to find seepage. Bamboo or vines. But if these aren't available, soldiers learn different ways to purify water that isn't pure. Just use your imagination because it's not for the weak at heart. They learn shelter building. In field survival, shelter is about protection from the cold, wind, and rain, concealment from enemy or wildlife, sleep and rest to maintain focus. They also learn fire making. Fire isn't just for warmth, it's for water purification, cooking food, repelling animals and insects, boosting morale, signaling for rescue, and that's why they learn to make fire with improvised fire starters. Cotton balls, Vaseline, dry bark, pine needles. They're also trained in smokeless fire building to avoid detection. They, of course, learn navigation and isolation drills. In some exercises, soldiers are dropped into unfamiliar terrain with a map, compass, minimal gear, and orders to reach a rendezvous point undetected. They must use terrain features like rivers, hills to navigate, celestial cues like sun, stars, if without a compass, silent movement and camouflage to stay hidden. The toughest part here is the mental endurance. Soldiers face hunger, thirst, fear, darkness, and of course, loneliness. So when you see Jimin back on stage again, remember that behind that dance line, high note, I smile, those soft-spoken interviews is a man who can calculate fire mission with his head. No computer necessary. Someone who can muscle through an entire day, loading 50 kilos of shells one after the other, someone who can trek through hostile terrain with nothing but instincts and discipline, someone who was trained to survive alone in the forest, building shelter, finding water, foraging for food with no spotlight, no script, just grit, pure grit. Because Gunner Park isn't just a title, it's actually a badge of fire tested resilience, of intellect, of endurance, and quiet leadership. It only proves that underneath a camo or Kevlar, a superstar will continue to shine. They will just shine in a different kind of darkness. All right, one more episode to go. That is to wrap up the entire series. I'm going to discuss like the different, like how this military thing actually happens based on publicly available information. And unless you have other requests, that would be it. That would end the series. And then we'll start talking about music and movies and culture and other things again. Okay. All right. I hope that you like this. Please consider donating to the channel. The link is in the description box, but the QR code that you see on your screen, that will lead you to the different options and how you can donate. It's really helping my channel. Also, follow me on X, also on IG, and also on Patreon. It's a vibrant community. You'll find a lot of other people there that share the same interest, love for Asian movies, TV shows, music, artists, culture, or sometimes we just have fun. We also go on trips. We plan trips together. Also, please like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification button because that's really helping my channel. Share the video, share the channel, post it on your social media. Ask your friends to watch it, family members. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.